Welcome everybody to the December edition of the GPS Training Podcast. It's podcast number 17. And today I've got myself, who's John, and I've got Andy with me. As always, we're streaming it live on Facebook. So if you want to see what we look like, please go to our Facebook page. Just search for GPS Training on Facebook. And don't forget to like our page when you're there. So without further ado, let's get on with today's podcast. In today's podcast, we're going to look at the following. We're going to look at the best budget GPS for Christmas 2018. We've got a little bit on Geoffrey the bot. All will become clear, I hope. We'll look at the 2018 Ordnance Survey mapping, Routable Topo Pro mapping from Garmin, and a little bit on the SatMap side as well. We're going to look at the online resource update. We've been restructuring that, or Andy has, over the last week. And then we've got Andy's top tips, both Garmin and SatMap. We're going to look a little bit about downloading .gpx files, what's that all about? And finally, we're going to have a bit of a what piece of kit would Andy and I both want on our Christmas, under the Christmas tree on Christmas morning. So the first thing on the December podcast is the best budget GPS for Christmas 2018. So Andy, as we approach Christmas 18, what is the best budget GPS unit? First of all, I think we need to clarify what are we going to classify as a budget GPS unit. Let's say £350 or less.
Maximum,
so maximum £350. So I think that kind of takes SatMap out of the equation because SatMap starts more
£480.
So I think we're into the Garmin range really.
Yeah, I mean, we sell GPSs from £100 for something very basic up to £1,000. So where we tend to start with the budget units is looking at something just for backup to carry to maybe get a grid reference, but have some colour maps, even if they're not Ordnance Survey maps, to have something on the screen.
Right.
So we tend to start with the Etrex 20X, the Garmin Etrex 20X, £179.99.
Okay.
Now ours does actually come with a voucher that's worth £20. So when you're comparing prices, most of the Etrex 20Xs you see for sale don't have any map vouchers with them. So this voucher lets you download 3,000 square kilometres of OS 1 to 25.
So this is quite basic, isn't it? Button GPS unit, not touch screen.
Lightweight, compact, small screen, little joystick, does its job. Doesn't have the electronic compass, so when you're standing still, it's not pointing the way you're heading until you start moving.
Yeah. That's
when we move on to the next one, which is one of the nice compact ones I like, the Etrex 30X.
Yes.
£219.99. Again, this is a small, compact, 2.2 inch colour screen, the same as the Etrex 20X. Joystick controls, it's not touch screen. Comes again with this more basic mapping. I didn't mention that in the 20. It comes with some more, I describe it more as a cyclist style mapping.
Yes.
But again, ours for £219.99 on the Etrex 30X comes with a voucher worth £20 that lets you download some 1 to 25 Ordnance Survey.
And that's 3,000 square kilometres.
Yeah. Now the 30X comes with an electronic 3-axis compass. So the beauty then is it means when you're standing still and you turn with the unit, the map will turn with you to the way you're heading.
Brilliant. So Etrex Touch 20X and 30X, so they're button GPS units, come with this very basic mapping, and then we've got this bird's eye voucher that enables to download 3,000 square kilometres, which is about the size of the Lake District National Park. Then moving on,
touchscreen units are the next range. Now these are the most popular ones we're finding this time of year. I suppose the 20Xs and 30Xs have been out a long time, and a customer who maybe doesn't like touchscreen will go for it. But you've got to bear in mind it's quite a small joystick to control them. I still find you get away better with a touchscreen unit. So we have a range of Garmin units called Etrex Touches, 25 and 35. So there's just two models in the range. Starting with the Etrex Touch 25, similar to the Etrex 20Xs and 30Xs. We do these with this bird's eye voucher that lets you download 3,000 square kilometres of OS mapping. So the first one is the Etrex Touch 25, £229.99. Slightly bigger screen from the Etrex 20 and 30. It's got a 2.5 inch screen. Of course, it's touch screen. I find it much quicker moving between screens. Got that map voucher with it so you can download some OS mapping, and again comes with this Garmin. I'm maybe being a bit unfair saying a cyclist style map. It does have some trails on it, but it's not detailed like an Ordnance Survey map.
Not that, no.
But that's a good starter unit at £229.99, whether you're cycling or walking, to be honest.
I know when that first came out, which only 2 years ago, it was 2 Christmases ago, the Touch 25 came out. At those time you could only get it with this bird's eye bundle. You couldn't get it with full GB mapping. And I actually took the Touch 25 home at Christmas. I thought I'm going to walk solidly with that mapping. And actually, it was all right, but it wasn't an Ordnance Survey mapping. I know that it's obvious, but actually I found a number of times I was out and I kind of knew the path carried on, but it just stopped halfway through. I found it quite frustrating because you walk confident with the ordnance survey mapping. I felt I wanted that experience. And the end of my Christmas break, I came back and went, I jumped back to Oregon because I had the ordnance survey mapping with it. So it's really nice that I think it was 6 months later, Garmin actually brought it out with ordnance survey mapping, didn't they?
I find, these touch units that we do with the voucher, I find the typical customer, I've got a friend who actually bought one from us. He's a good example. He does a bit of cycling and walking, but he tends to concentrate. He's walking more in the area that we live and work in Northumberland. Yeah. So he used the voucher to download all of Northumberland National Park. And the other mapping, he cycles all over the place. So it's a nice dual cycle and walking unit. Yeah. So Touch 25 22999 with that voucher, that's worth $19.99. The Touch 35 is the next one up. It's an extra £50 at $27999. Again, has this voucher for the 3,000 square kilometres of mapping. Yeah. What do you get for that extra £50? It's one of the most popular questions I've had the last couple of weeks. Difference between the Touch 25 and 35, other than the colour. The Touch 25 is blue and the 35 is black. On the 35, you have a barometric altimeter, which when calibrated, you should do regular calibration, can potentially give you more accurate height data. Those you're mountain climbing. So on the 25, the height data is just from GPS. So altimeter, it's got Bluetooth so that it can sync with your phone. If anyone sends you a message or tries to ring you and your phone's in your rucksack, you'll see those messages on the screen of the 35. And it also has this function called Garmin, ENT Plus. That means it can link to some of the Garmin sensors, like we sell that temperature sensor. You can then get heart rate sensors, etc. Yeah. So it's got a few extra functions on the 35.
So those main things. So with a bird's eye voucher, 229 for the 25, and the 35, 279 with the bird's eye vouchers. But then I think the big thing is, because we're looking at the £350, is if you can afford it to go with the ordnance survey mapping full GB, why wouldn't you do it?
Yeah, I mean, to be honest, again, we're using these units as backup. They're there supporting us with potentially still carrying maps and things with us. It's a way of using two things together. But it's nice if you do a lot of travelling around the country and you don't know where you're going to be walking next. We sell both the Touch 25 and the 35s with full GB 1 to 50 mapping. I'm trying to keep prices under £300. What's nice this year, we've managed to get a special offer on the Touch 25 with the very latest. We're going to talk about this later, but the latest 2018 1 to 50 mapping. So we've got that one at $299. We've also got on our website the Touch 25 with the older 2015 mapping that a lot of other places seem to only have in stock. They're obviously clearing stock of an old device. So I don't think we've got many of those left. No. There's only £10 difference between the two. So to be honest, our customers are all buying because we've got it reduced with, it's got today 20% off. It was...
Yeah, it was 369, I think.
369. Yeah. We've got it to 299. So the Touch 25, 29999. But you got to remember that includes a map card that's worth £150, covering the whole of Great Britain, 1 to 50. 1 to 50 Land Ranger maps. It's over 200 maps on the unit. Yeah. So again, I always say customers ring me and say, "Oh, I found a price of a Touch 25 a bit cheaper. I found this one for £180 or something." You know. But it's got no maps with it, so they buy the £150 map card and suddenly they've spent £330. Yeah. So when we've got it at 29999 and it's already got that map card all tested and set up for you.
Yeah, brilliant.
It's great.
They get the online training as well. They get their online training when they get the unit from us. They get the Go support package, which they get the webinars and the training courses and all that kind of thing with it. So it has been popular. 29999, the Touch 25 Topo Great Britain Pro. So is that going to be the best budget GPS unit, Andy, or not? We're right. Well,
Me personally, if I was looking, and I do cycling and walking, I think the Touch units are great. I suppose I would look at maybe the Touch 25 at 229. I think actually another £70, and I've got the whole of a map card worth £150. Altimeter, I don't do mountain climbing. I'm using it. The height data from GPS is just a guide. Yeah. I like to be away from my phone when I'm out in the hills, so I'm not worried about the pairing with the phone. So to be honest, to me, if it was my money, the Touch 25 at 29999, and then you've got all that mapping, and you can still add bird's eye vouchers onto it for 1999 if you want a little bit more detailed mapping over the Land Ranger maps.
Brilliant. So thank you very much. So conclusion there: the best budget GPS unit for Christmas 2018, is Etrex Touch 25T with Topo Pro 1 to 50k map card, and we've got that reduced for $299. I must just say, actually, there is limited stock. We managed to get a good offer from Garmin, so we have got a box of them next. I can't remember out exactly how many there are, but actually when they are gone, we will not be able to keep that price because it is a Garmin-led promotion. It's something we
there's
couldn't
a lot
get
of
to
those
do.
sold in the last couple of weeks.
Yeah, so if you do want one, please get one, and we've got them in stock, and we'll ship out to you the next working day. If you want to find out more about these GPS units, please go to gpstraining.co.uk, click on GPS Store, then Handheld GPS Units. And please don't forget, if you're looking for a GPS unit or GPS watch this Christmas for yourself or as a present, please do give us a call and we can discuss your requirements and give you an impartial GPS recommendation. Next thing on the December podcast is Geoffrey, our GPS training bot. So this week we've launched Geoffrey, the GPS training bot. We're currently showcasing him to the public as we are training him and in the next few weeks, once he's fully trained and fully tested, we're going to move him to inside the online resource. Geoffrey the bot is constantly analysing the catalogues and analysing catalogues any answers we email to customers, and with a little bit of AI, well, it's not really AI, it's more learning and indexing rather than artificial intelligence, but AI is a current buzzword. He will hopefully start to answer your GPS tech questions. We've been entertained over the last 24 hours since we launched him, and we just kind of been asking random questions and seeing what he comes up with. But again, we're having to populate some of these answers. And I know you had a little play with him before he came on, Andy, so I think...
I asked him to recommend a GPS, but he gave me technical tips. So we still need to put more information in it, don't we?
We do. So he's quite technically minded at the moment. So and at the moment, I don't know why we called him Geoffrey. It was Fred yesterday morning. He's now called Geoffrey. So I think in the new year we're going to run a Facebook poll to rename our bot and see what names he can come up with, because he's causing a bit of entertainment what we've called him. So we'll call him Geoffrey at the moment. Geoffrey, the GPS training bot. But in the new year, we hopefully will get some a new name for him. So if you want to put Geoffrey, our GPS training bot, through his paces, please go to our website, which is gpstraining.co.uk, and click on support. That's on the top menu bar on our website. You'll see Geoffrey's down the bottom right hand side, and there's it looks like a little icon, isn't it, down the bottom right hand. Just click on that little orange icon and he'll pop up there, and you can ask him your GPS questions. Now, when you are asking him questions, he'll ask you, is he right or wrong, and you can click yes or no, and then that artificial learning will take place, and hopefully as people ask the same questions, he'll come back with better and better answers. So he's there for the next week or 10 days. Hopefully we can get him behind the online resource, and he can start drawing some of the information out there as well. Next thing on the GPS Training Podcast is the 2018 Ordnance Survey Mapping, the Routable Topo Pro. Now, I know it's a little bit it is all for Garmin users. We'll talk a little bit about what the sat map options are later on. So, Topo Pro, Andy, raised his head again. It's something we discuss over and over and over again, both on the podcast and on the telephone every day. So, for one final last time, what is Topo Pro? And why are people getting confused about it?
Yeah, I should have had some props here. I'm going to grab 2 maps for the Facebook users just to hold up.
All right.
I like props. I should have had these ready. So this is only for the Facebook users, but if you're not on Facebook, I am going to describe what I'm showing. So I'm sure most of you are familiar with the Ordnance Survey maps that we use over here. Ordnance Survey maps we have for Facebook users. I'm just holding up an orange coloured map, a covered map. It's the Ordnance Survey Explorer maps. 1 to 25k, the more detailed maps that have the field boundaries on, the permissive tracks, etc. The Land Ranger maps, holding up again just for Facebook. Those not on Facebook, it's the pink covered Land Ranger 1 to 50k map. Still a great map with all your public footpaths and rights of way. We just don't have the field boundaries and the little permissive tracks.
That's right.
So that's how we know the maps. That Ordnance Survey Land Ranger 1 to 50, Ordnance Survey Explorer 1 to 25. Garmin like to give them different names because they're Garmin and they're in America. And so, the way Garmin have described the Ordnance Survey maps over, I'm just going back over the last 5 years, I suppose. The first range of Ordnance Survey maps that Garmin brought out were called GB Discoverer. Yeah. So Great Britain Discoverer, discover the country. Mm-hmm. It's not a terminology from Ordnance Survey. They don't call them Discoverer maps. So GB Discoverer. And then they would always put the scale, so you had GB Discoverer 1 to 50, which is our Land Ranger maps. GB Discoverer 1 to 25 was the 1 to 25 maps. They're the older map cards. The last dates on those were the Discoverer 1 to 50 came out in 2015, and the Discoverer 1 to 25 was a similar sort of time, if I remember rightly. But we've now got new part numbers, so rather than just call it Discoverer 1 to 50 2018. They've now called it Topo Pro Great Britain.
Yeah.
Came out in 2018 with 1 to 50. Sorry, I should have. So Topo Pro Great Britain 1 to 50.
Yeah.
2018 version. That's what we're stocking now. And that one is basically the Land Ranger maps.
Yeah,
Topo just means topographical maps. So when you see on our website Topo Pro 1 to 50, Great Britain 1 to 50, it's the Land Ranger maps.
Yeah.
And when you see on our website Topo Pro Great Britain 1 to 25, it's the Explorer maps.
And what's the difference between the Topo Pro mapping and the previous Discoverer one then?
Yeah, so now that they start using this terminology Pro, and I'm pretty sure from a bit of research I've been doing that it's similar in other countries as well, but when you see the word Pro, it means they've added routable data for trails. What do we mean by routable data? We're used to car sat navs where we say take me from A to B, take me to a town, a village or a postcode, snaps on the road and you get arrows on the screen of your GPS and someone talking to you.
Yeah.
With the Topo Pro maps that Garmin have got for this country, so again the Topo Pro 1 to 50 and 1 to 25, when you're in, it's not the whole of the country that's got routable trail data, but if you're walking on footpaths in any of the 14 national parks, you can get the unit to route you automatically by snapping onto those footpaths. The GPS won't talk to you, but you get the arrows on the screen if your GPS has been set up correctly, like we set them up for the hiking. Not every footpath's going to be on. You've got to use it with, I suppose we always say, use anything with a bit of caution. You use your car GPS with a bit of caution.
Yeah, let's hope so.
It's there as a guide. You're going to, regardless of the routable data, you're still going to see yourself moving across an Ordnance Survey map, but it is a nice feature to use.
So the Topo Pro has this routable data only within national parks. We've also got the Bird's Eye download. We mentioned that on the article before. We talked about the Touch 25. So we've still got this Bird's Eye download, Andy, which is downloading 125,000 mapping, isn't it? But that's non-routable.
There's no routable data on there. And the final thing I'll say on those maps, just so there's no confusion, the Discover maps always had this. The Topo Pro Ordnance Survey maps do have routable data for the road network for the whole of Great Britain. Right. So if you were a cyclist, you can't get it to snap on the roads. It's just the footpath trail data is only in the national parks.
Fantastic. Brilliant. So I hope that clarifies the different map types. So if you want to find out more about any of these map options, please go to our website, which is gpstraining.co.uk, click on GPS Store, then Garmin Mapping. So, SatMap, Andy, I think we need to just quickly mention a little bit about SatMap. That's slightly more straightforward, is it, or not?
That's what, I mean, SatMap, we stock the SatMap units, the new Active 20, with 3 different map bundles, 1 to 50k, and it's described as Ordnance Survey 1 to 50k. Yeah. So that's the Land Ranger maps. We stock the SatMaps with Ordnance Survey Explorer 1 to 25k. So again, it's Ordnance Survey Explorer 1 to 25k. The bundle that we've got on special offer at the moment, I suppose the terminology then might confuse customers. SatMap have a bundle called the Platinum Bundle. But when you look at the description, what you're basically getting with the SatMap Platinum Bundle is Ordnance Survey 1 to 25k, your Explorer for all of Great Britain, Ordnance Survey 1 to 50k, the Land Ranger for all of Great Britain. And they do also add on to the Platinum map card some 1 to 10 sort of, I'd say more basic but street view mapping if you're in an urban environment.
Yeah, you wouldn't really use that in the countryside with it's more for walking around that town. So routable off-road data by SatMap, slightly different, isn't it?
SatMap units, I mean, we've always seen it as a walker and hikers unit. Even though, I mean, I use it on my bike, not a problem. It doesn't, you can't put in a postcode as such and say snap on the roads or snap on the footpaths. But what SatMap have been working on recently on their planning software, the Expedition 2, you can actually get routes to snap onto. You've always actually been able to get them snap onto roads, but you can get routes to snap onto trails, but it's from open source data, not Ordnance Survey. So you might find when you're on their planning software and you're planning a route and you get it to snap on the trails, it's not actually on the footpaths marked on the Ordnance Survey map. Right. So you've got to be careful there. But for the road, actually, if you created a route on their planning software where you use their snap to road and then send it to the GPS device, it means it's snapped on the roads perfectly, but you don't get those turn-by-turn arrows saying turn left, turn right.
Brilliant, fantastic. So I hope that clarifies things. So if you find out more about the mapping options on the SatMap, please go to gpstraining.co.uk, click on GPS Store, then SatMap, GPS units on the left-hand side. Next thing on the December podcast is the online resource update. Annie's been busy restructuring this for the last week, actually. So you're nearly there, I think. So online resource, Andy, quickly, what is that?
We have an online training resource that if you buy a GPS device from us, you get it free for a year. It's basically full of videos and guides on the GPSs that we sell and the associated planning softwares. We've been adding more and more videos over the years. We try and regularly add what we call top tips videos. So these tend to be slightly shorter videos, just giving you tips that we pick up over the weeks and months when we're talking to customers. So it's something you can sit at home with, log on using a computer or a tablet. The videos are mobile friendly, and with your GPS in front of you or working on the computer, get lots of tips and hints and guides.
Brilliant. So what have you been doing? I suppose over the time, the online resource kind of started off with just basic videos. It's gotten bigger and bigger and bigger. As I know, the Garmin Basecamp is what you've been working on this week. Originally started off as just text instructions, you then did videos. So you've been just restructuring a lot of that, haven't you?
Yeah, it's really the menus. If anyone's been using it, well, I'm sure lots of you have been using my online resource. If you'd looked a few weeks ago, one of the headings was Garmin Basecamp, and then there was about another 6 or 7 headings, and it was just headings for headings for headings. And then you had to keep delving into it more and more to find out what videos you wanted to view. So we've really restructured the menus now. So just an example, on the online training course now, when you click on the heading Garmin Basecamp, which is Garmin's planning software, you see 2 options, Windows or Mac, because there's 2 different versions of the software. And when you go into either Windows or Mac, there's just then a nice list of what we call modules with all the videos have got an individual title now that you can see straight away, rather than scrolling down page after page looking at videos and trying to find the title of the video. It's just a lot easier to find things and see what you're looking for.
Fantastic. So hopefully that'll do. And over the next couple of weeks we'll do a lot more videos. We'll work very hard on the online resource for the next couple of weeks, and hopefully you'll see some big changes from there. So if you want to access the online resource, just go to our website, which is gpstraining.co.uk, and click on online resource on the top menu bar. As Andy said, it's £50 a year to access the online resource, or it's free for the first year if you buy a GPS unit from us. So please do support us here at GPS Training, and know it does help the podcast. It helps us go. So again, if you help to keep the podcast on air. So if you please, if you've got a GPS unit, access our online resource. Pay that £50 a year, and it's very much appreciated. Next thing is Andy's top tips, both Garmin and SatMap. So Garmin first, Andy.
And my tips are very much going to be very similar for both units.
Good.
It's that time of year where you can see I've got me, if you're on Facebook, I've got me fleece on here. It's colder. We've had a little flurry of snow. Well, certainly where I live, I'm a few miles out of the village.
That's right.
We've had some icy mornings. It's that time of year when customers start asking me about battery life on the GPSs. It's nice to get out and do a winter walk, but I'm sure you're all aware batteries in cold don't perform as well as when the temperatures are warm. So when we look at the Garmin unit, we look at the type of batteries we're using first. We all use different types of batteries. Some customers use alkaline, rechargeable, etc. I would always recommend for winter use using either lithium batteries. We've got some Energizer Ultimate Lithium on display here for Facebook users, so they perform better in colder temperatures. If you're wanting to be greener and use rechargeable batteries, and of course again you can use these all year round, we stock the Eneloop Pro Panasonic batteries, and again it's just about batteries that perform better in colder temperatures. And we've now got these Eneloop batteries with a 3-pin plug for the charger. But it's
a simple thing, but our listeners need to know how long it's taken us to get that 3-pin plug. We used to do a 2-pin plug for many years.
Yeah, I mean, they get imported from Germany, and we struggle in this country to buy you can buy the more budget Eneloop chargers with lesser capacity batteries, and then buy bigger capacity batteries and put them together. But we try and sell the customers a nice set where you're getting the higher capacity Eneloop Pro batteries with a charger, and it always was a 2-pin plug for some reason, but we've now got the 3-pin plug. But it's just about putting the right batteries in your unit, because everyone asks me when they're buying a GPS, how long will the batteries last? A lot of it is down to the quality. So winter use, try and use lithium or Eneloop Pro rechargeables. Another tip, and this is I suppose for all units, your batteries work better if they're warm before you put them in the unit. So carry your spare batteries in an inside pocket close to your body. So warm batteries work better. And on your units, just remember things like keeping your backlight down a little bit. And on the Garmin units, we tend to look at, from the settings and display, you have a function called battery save that will turn the screen off after so long, but it's still recording where you walk, and it's amazing how much that will save. So keeping your backlight down, using the battery save function, and good quality batteries, likes of lithium or Eneloop Pro, and remember in the setup and system to change the battery type to the type you're using.
That's brilliant. So that's really Garmin, really, which is AA batteries.
Sat map units. The sat map units, of course, come with their own built-in batteries, whether you've got an active 12 or an active 20, the LiPo batteries. We would always recommend, you know, I'm not saying just for winter, at any time you'd want to carry spare batteries. What we stock for the sat map units, for the new active 20, again, I'm just holding up for Facebook, we've got the emergency AA battery cradle, and we have lithium batteries in there. You've got to make sure if you've got that battery cradle, you've got batteries in it as well. So we use lithium batteries. So it's carrying that spare cradle. Keep it on the inside pocket so it's next to your body before you, if you do have to use them. The active 10s and active 12s used to come with a battery cradle from SatMap. And again, we use 3 AA lithium batteries. We recommend SatMap. I've always recommend lithium batteries if you're using the emergency battery cradles. So again, similar to the Garmin, make sure you've got the right batteries for the winter. They're warm, ideally as warm as you can before they go in the unit. And on the SatMap, one of the settings I like that you've got on the Active 12 and the Active 20, when you go into the power control settings, there's a setting called Advanced Power, and it's normally set as normal, but in the Advanced Power setting, you've got a couple of settings called Advanced Power and Ultra, and what that does is it doesn't record a satellite signal every second, but it does really increase the battery life. So you can put it in this advanced mode where every 4 seconds it records a signal, so you don't get quite as accurate a track recording, but it'll help save battery. And the Ultra setting is every 8 seconds, so that'll help. And just keep, again, on the sat map, keep your backlight low, and there's a setting for how long your screen stays on, reduce that as well.
Brilliant. So that's really good top tips, as Andy says, both around the same theme really, which is conserving your battery life, good quality batteries, and changing some of those settings within the unit to get the best out of them as well.
In the warm batteries, a cameraman taught me that tip, and he said put cold batteries in a unit, they don't last very long, so keep your spare batteries on your inside pocket.
That's brilliant. And if you'd like Andy's top tips, in the run up to Christmas we have an Advent GPS training top tip every day on the GPS training Facebook page. So please just search for GPS training on Facebook and please like our page, and you'll see the top tip every evening at 6 o'clock in the evening. And a big thank you to Tom here, our friend of the show Tom, who's done all the graphics for that. I think they look very smart. He's done some really nice graphics. A lot of work's gone into it, so thank you Tom for doing that. It is very much appreciated. Next thing is download a .gpx file. What's this all about? So, Andy, what's a .gpx file?
So, lots of websites out there sharing walks that other people have done, or websites where they create walks, routes, cycle rides to share amongst the GPS community, so you can put these on a GPS device. The universal format that you tend to find if you're looking for walks on websites is something called Gpx. So that's a format you can basically send to your Garmin or your SatMap unit. It's a way, you know, all these units have planning software where you can plan your own routes, but often if I'm looking for a walk in an area I've not been to before, I'll search the internet just and put in GPS route 4, the name of where I want to go, and it's amazing what you'll find.
And are they routes or tracks, or they can be whatever? It's
interesting because normally we would describe a route as something that someone's pre-planned. So a lot of the websites, that there's someone sitting planning the route on some map software. So when you actually download it into your whichever software you're using, whether it be Garmin or SatMap, to send to your unit, it will be a route. But to be honest, a lot of these websites will say that it's a route, but when you actually send it to your software, say the Garmin software, you look at it and think it's a track, because it's actually where someone's recorded where they've walked, and then they've shared it on a website. The only reason that causes confusion more, it doesn't matter so much on the sat map because they'll load the same way, but on the Garmin units you have an option of searching for routes in your unit or tracks. And I remember an interesting call, a customer phoned me who was a member of the LDWA, Long Distance Walkers Association, and she said, I've downloaded 10 GPX files from their website, and they say their routes, I cannot find them on my unit. She's gone, where to? Touching the magnifying glass on the unit and looking at routes, and they just weren't there. So I dialed into the lady's computer and we had a look, and what we found is when we opened up the Basecamp planning software, they were, even though they were described as routes on the website, they were all tracks. So they were on the lady's unit. You just had to press the magnifying glass and use the menu option tracks, and then you still navigate and follow them. It's still a line overlaid on your map, showing you where you need to walk to follow that walk or route, you know. So
let's just name some websites off the top of your head. I know I was on your webinar this week and you did an example there on the webinar. Just some websites where we can find these GPX files.
So we're not associated to these websites anyway. It's just ones that customers have recommended to us over the years, and these are actually free ones. They don't cost anything. We've got one called gps-routes.co.uk.
That's the one you use on your webinar.
Yeah, that's a good, again, you scroll down from the top page, you scroll down till you get the walks, and then it lists all the counties and the walks, and there's GPX files at the bottom.
Brilliant.
So gps-routes.co.uk. Those of you walking in Scotland, there's a brilliant website called walkhighlands.co.uk. Again, obviously the 3 W's dot in front. So walkhighlands.co.uk. Walking Englishman?
Walking Englishman, if you're on our podcast, hasn't
yeah,
it?
Walking Englishman, is that .co.uk?
I think it is, yeah.
Again, I'm sure if you even Google Walking Englishman, and another one that customers have mentioned is, now it's the one where you do subscribe to, is that walkingworld.com,
yeah, Walking World,
which we've used over the past year. You can get a few sample ones off there. So again, just look on the internet.
Even just Google, as you say, I Google often .gpx, coast to coast, or whatever you're looking to do, and other people share them, so just Google them and you'll find them. But again, once you've found them, you really need to import them into some route planning software just to check they're right. Really?
Going back to our online training course, when you look under the Basecamp section for Garmin, we have a video importing routes from third-party websites, and on the SatMap section, we've shown some videos on importing routes you've downloaded from websites into the SatMap planning software to then send to your unit.
Fantastic. So again, just have a quick look at them, because if you're going to go out and do a number of days walking on a GPX file you've not looked at, you need to just have a look at it and make sure it's right. You can still edit. You could cut it up into the days if it's a long distance trail or something.
Yeah, you? I mean, these routes, they're not locked, so when you import them into whatever planning software you're using, which we'd always recommend, because you need to make sure the person who's advertising that route, it is actually where you expect and they haven't made a mistake. So you look at it on the planning software, edit it if you want to edit it, and change it yourself before you send it to your GPS.
Brilliant. And again, in the online resources, videos about how to import, as Andy says, from third-party websites, and also then how to transfer those onto your unit. So .gpx files, a really good way of getting other people's routes and walks and tracks onto your GPS unit. But as Andy says, import it into your route planning software, check it over, make sure it's right, and then you've got a good day's walking or cycling ahead of you. Final thing on this month's podcast is what piece of kit is on each of our Christmas lists. So I was thinking this last night, I was just putting the running order together, and I thought, it's Christmas, isn't it? Do you know what? Wish list time, isn't it? Yeah. So I'm going to say what I would love. I'm going to have a Garmin Fenix 5 Plus Sapphire, the titanium screen with a solar flare orange band, £744.99. The only reason is my best friend's got one. He's bought one off us, and you go out with him, and he absolutely loves this watch. He thinks it's the best thing ever. Sapphire screen is really hard wear, and I've got a 5 on my wrist anyway, but I've not got the 5.
Santa Claus looks after you, like.
Well, he would do. £744. I say my wife's not here. I could give her that as I shop this. Really nice. If you've not seen it, you're just going to have a look at it. Our newsletter's going out today. I've actually put it on the top left-hand picture because I'm just totally in love with it. You look at that watch, you think that is the greatest piece of kit ever. So, £744. In my GPS purchase, because I'm going to have my expensive wish list, my handheld unit, I've always been an Oregon user ever since Oregon's. But for me, this year, I'm sorry, I'm going to the 66S. GPMS to 66S. I'm back to push button. Been out walking with it a lot, and actually this is the unit I'm going to take home at Christmas. I've got some really nice walks planned for Christmas, and I'm going to go to 66S. I really like the usability of it. I like the larger screen. I like the clarity of the screen. I love everything about it, and actually I do.
You're getting older and you're wearing your gloves more now, so you can use it with your gloves on.
Yeah, so if it snows at Christmas, I'm not bothered because I've got my touchscreen, my button GPS unit. So again, it's the first time I've ever done it, but 66S is on my Christmas list. And joking aside, actually, I would actually be buying one of these units. We can take them home from work. We're very, very lucky, but I would be buying one of these if this was the way I was at the moment. And we've had a lot of Oregon users upgrade to 66S and really good feedback off the back of it. And I personally would be one of those people doing that. 499 with 150,000 mapping, I think that's how I would be buying a GPS unit. I think I can't afford that 125,000 mapping, so that would be on my Christmas list. So I'd be buying my new Fenix wrist watch 744, and I would be getting my 66S with my Topo Great Britain Pro 150K 499. So that's on my Christmas list. I suspect none of them will be under the Christmas tree, Andy, but it's just wishful thinking. Yeah. So what's on your list then for this year?
When you first asked the question, I'd started writing down a bottle of Jura whiskey and a new mountain bike, and then I realised it was to do with GPSs. So I still wouldn't mind the bottle of Jura whiskey and a new lighter mountain bike. But GPSs then, now, I've actually got I've got an early Christmas present because my wife asked me if I'd like a new watch, and this is a bit of a preview as well because we've got a new. You don't mind me?
No.
We've got a new watch coming out. Well, we're going to have a watch that Garmin launched recently, coming in very soon, and I was so impressed with it. I like the Phoenix that John wanted, or like the Phoenix he's wearing. I have smaller wrists. I like something a bit lighter. So I'm going to unveil it now for Facebook users. I've got the Garmin Instinct. This was my Christmas present. I know it's only just December. I was allowed to have it early, so I'm just holding it up for Facebook. Garmin Instinct, I absolutely love it. I've only had it a few days and it's tremendous.
And we're getting that in a week on Monday. So we get the week before Christmas. The Instinct will come into stock here at GPS Training. Yeah. And Andy's done some videos on it. We've already done some videos and stuff from Andy. I gave it to Andy to play with for 2 hours, and he came out with, I need one of those. So
my wife bought this one, but it's I mean, to me it's only just over 50 grams in weight. It weighs absolutely nothing. Got the heart rate on. It's got lots of GPS functions, just getting the grid reference quickly, recording where I've walked. It's a great watch, and my Santa Claus was on more of a budget than your Santa Claus because this one is only $269.99, which I think it's packed with features for that. So Instinct watch, I know that's a bit of a, I've already got it, but it was my Christmas present. It's just I've been allowed to wear it early.
That's right. So again, we're getting those a week before Christmas. We are actually going to do record our next podcast for people watching live on Facebook the Friday before Christmas, and we'll do a big review then on the Instinct. Andy can do a full review on it then, and again we'll have it on our website with full of videos, online resource. Fingers crossed will all be done by then as well. But lots of fingers crossed. So what's the other thing, Andy?
I mean, GPS device, I was torn because I was joking with John about the gloves because I'm doing a bit more mountain biking at the moment, and when I'm mountain biking this time of year, I tend to have full gloves on. So I like touchscreen units. I mean, in an ideal world, I'd own both units. So I was toying between the two bigger push button units that we do. So obviously you said the 66. I'm not just saying this to be different to you. I take all the units home. I'm looking at the SatMap Active 20 because of, well, you're wearing reading glasses as well. I like the slightly bigger screen. It's a 3.5-inch high-res screen. It's button and touch screen. See, I've struggled to go away from the touch screen, but in the winter, I can use this for the buttons. And with the platinum mapping, which we got on special offer as well. So Santa Claus, I don't know if he's going to buy me one, but I'm sure you'll lend me one. But it's got 1 to 25 and 1 to 50 maps. But what I'll probably get for Christmas is the quad lock accessory to go on my bike to go with it, but not the Active 20.
Right.
I'll probably have to buy that myself.
Okay. So, and he's got his Christmas card coming from SatMap now.
Oh, thank you. No, I was hot, to be honest. I was swaying towards the 66, the same as you.
Yeah.
And I mean, I didn't know what you were going to say, and I'd written down 66, and then I thought, nah, Active 20.
We've sold a lot of the Active 20. You know, this last Black Friday and then post then we've done really, really well on the Active 20. Actually, it's been a big part of our sales. I think we've reduced the platinum, as you know, so people have looked on our website, reduced the platinum, and I think that people are going, that's a bargain. That's a lot of GPS for the amount of money, isn't it?
Santa Claus said to me, like the money that we've knocked off it.
So, we've sold a lot of SatMap Active 20. Actually, so much that we've ordered more. We've not yet got them in stock because we cleared the shelves. We've got some more, I think, hopefully coming in today or Monday at the very latest. So, you know who you are. Get our SatMaps here because we've got people waiting for them.
Instinct watch, though, I tell you. Best watch I've ever owned.
Instinct watch. So on Andy's Christmas list is Instinct watch, which he's already got, which we're getting in stock the week before Christmas, and the SatMap Active 20. And for me, I'm going for the big expensive Phoenix 5 Plus Sapphire Titanium with solar flare orange band for 744. And my handheld unit is a GPS Map 66S with a Topo Great Grim Pro for 499. And finally, many thanks for listening to the GPS Training Podcast. If you like anything, if you want anything covered in future podcasts, please do get in touch. Please do give us a call, especially if you're thinking about buying a new GPS unit in the run-up to Christmas. Please do take a look at both our physical GPS training courses and also our webinars, which are these live seminars. Just go to our website, which is gpstraining.co.uk, and click on GPS Training Courses. Please also do tell your friends about our podcast and also about GPS training. And don't forget, you can watch us recording the podcast on our Facebook page, which is gpstraining.uk, or on our YouTube channel, which is just GPS Training. And please don't forget to give us a 5-star review on iTunes. It's really appreciated. And also thanks to Steve8517 and KGH395 for leaving us a great review on iTunes. It really is appreciated. Many thanks for Andy for joining for me on this, the 17th episode of our GPS Training Podcast.
Thank you.
And I hope you all have a very good Christmas and a happy New Year. Make sure you manage to get out over Christmas break and get a few miles under your belt. I know we are both going to be doing that. So have a great break, whatever you're going to do. Enjoy your GPS units, get out there, whatever the weather, and enjoy yourself. And thanks for listening to the December edition of the GPS Training Podcast.